Welcome back. We're here, sitting here, down here with Peter Bruin, founder of the Architectency in 1988. So Pete, welcome. Thank you for being here. What we would like to know from you is why did you move from the Bijlmer to Amsterdam South? What were your reasons to live here?
Well, actually I think it is for an architect a good idea to live close to where your work is, because many architects live in some kind of villa in the woods and design all this kind of horrible flat buildings, and I think that's a shame. So when I was working on the Bijlmermeer, I actually lived in the Bijlmermeer for quite a long time, and I must admit I liked eventually to be a bit closer to the center of town of Amsterdam. So, but it was certainly a consideration to live very close to the area that I would be master planning for over 10 years.
And the Zuidas, right? Yeah.
That's the Zuidas, yes. And I was invited to do this master planning together with the municipality.
Yeah.
And it is of course a very exciting scheme. I think many people don't realize this has really European dimension. The format. We actually invited our colleagues from Paris and London to have their opinion and their comment. And from both these parties, they told us and myself, make this into a mixed-use area, and avoid the horrible scenario of a business unit, a CBD, a central business district, because we know all over the world this is very sterile surroundings that make maybe a lot of money, but are in a city a black hole. You won't be loving to go there at evening hours. It is terrible.
It's a bit ghetto-like.
Yeah, a ghetto. A ghetto is terrible. Any too rigid functional split is causing sterility. It's causing a ghetto atmosphere. Whether it is business or even only housing is also very boring.
Yeah.
So urbanity, atmospheric sphere, city sphere, you can only achieve with the right mix. I compared this to Amsterdam, the canal zone, the central Amsterdam area. And I have studied this very closely, and there the mix is 50-50. It's 50% residential, 50% non-residential. So I just very flatly said, let's do the same here. Let's go for the 50-50. And that was accepted and adopted.
And is it succeed like you planned?
Not yet, no. Unfortunately, we have had since many drawbacks. The most important one being that the noise level and the pollution level on this right now, because of the highway and the train, is exceeding the levels of toleration. So you are not allowed within hundreds of meters
to live there.
To live there.
Yeah.
So we cannot build new apartments. No. And that's a terrible pressure, because in the meantime we have started to develop, to make money, of course, and so the office blocks rise up.
Yeah.
And so far there are only 1 or 2 apartment blocks, and that's very close to illegal. It is very difficult. You have to really skip the law to make these apartment blocks.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
And what's the position of we now in the Winter 2 building, what's the position of this area in the master plan of the Zuidas?
Yes. The master plan is actually, it's a mixture of what we call Berlage Zuid and Buitenveldert of Van Eesteren. If you look closely to the master plan, in footprint, it's very much alike these Berlagian blocks.
Yeah.
And if you look closely to Buitenveldert, you see actually this tower landscape. I superposed the towers on top of these blocks. That's, if you try and remember my words, and you will find that I'm right. It's like a Mondrian painting with this as the basis and the superposition of these blocks. And that's why I did that, in order to make supple connections to the surrounding, between the
Good
two areas.
transition.
Yeah.
It's one connection to the Berlage area, and it's one connection to Buitenvelden. To Buitenvelden, of course, it's much weaker, because that's a fully different story urbanistically.
Yeah.
But this is a highlight in terms of Amsterdam, feeling and
Yeah.
emotion.
Mhm.
And I wanted this Zuidas very much to connect to the Berlage area, because I wanted Zuidas to be a part of Amsterdam, proper. And that's a very important secret behind it. And the blocks of Zuidas are oriented very much alike this Berlage.
Okay.
And the main axes, like the Minerva-as and the Parnassusweg and the Beethovenstraat, they all flow very softly along. They make the pattern and the fabric work.
Yeah.
Now, in this direction,
Yeah, the Princess Irene line.
yes, I tell you the secret of this line. There are actually 3 points I like to make. First of all, the Zuidas value, power, the developing power is generated from its extreme mobility scenario. The train, the high-speed train, the metro, the buses, the trams, the cars, the
Mhm.
taxis. There's only one modality missing. It's the water traffic.
The Amsterdam
The-
canals.
Yes, you know, the boats, the canal boats,
Mhm.
the tourist boats, but also water taxis. You have to really closely look how intriguing the pattern of the water is in Amsterdam.
It's a great
particularly-
part of Amsterdam.
So I liked Zuidas to connect also along the water with the rest of the city.
Yeah.
Think of the international trains arriving from Paris with these luxury girls getting out of the train. They want to go to the Amstel Hotel by water taxi. That's a good idea. So I proposed, the water is ending here and the water is here.
Yeah.
So I said, let's build a canal connecting this water and this water.
So the Princess Irene line was a canal then in the plan.
In that plan, it was a canal.
Yeah.
And I had another good reason, because this is the Stravinsky line.
Yeah.
That's a very stupid line. It is like a little piece of Bijlmermeer. In this period, the planners of the city thought cars should never go on the ground floor. It should be on elevated highways, like in the Bijlmer.
Yeah.
Now they have also put back that in the Bijlmer. But here is a leftover. Here, here, and here. Go and look with this, with my story, with new eyes to this. It's horrible. It's cutting the area in
Yeah, in
pieces.
different colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I proposed to put this lane back to the ground floor again. Now all these people began to scream because they hate the Zuidas, all these rich people living here, and they said, but it will be flowing, it will gradually, this will also become Zuidas. I
They're
said,
afraid
no.
of it. Yeah. Okay.
I said, no, we are going to keep your villas here
Mhm.
in order to bring a delicate seizure between
the
this and
areas.
this. We
Yeah.
make the canal, and it's a very positive way of
Dividing.
separating, dividing, but it has also this positive effect of being water, and you can enjoy the water. And
Yeah.
so that was the idea of the canal. It's basically it's a mobility system, and secondly, it's to bring an argument to throw out this Stravinsky line. And I think these guys are right to want to preserve their little neighborhood.
Of course.
And then I proposed for this Winterthur area